Welcome to Successful Parenting, where we, Jackie Rue and Robin Choquette, share practical skills for families to build resilience and healthy connections. As practicing professionals and parents ourselves, we hope this podcast is a resource for parents to grow, reflect, and learn more about themselves and their children. Our approach is simple, tangible, and most importantly, we lead with compassion for the integrity of the families we serve. This podcast should not be taken as medical advice and is intended for informational purposes only. We love our work, and we can't wait to watch families gain confidence and open themselves up to new ways of successful parenting. Happy holidays, Jackie.
Happy holidays, Robin. I cannot believe that is already the end of 2023 and Christmas is approaching.
Yes, it's right around the corner. This actually will be published on Christmas. So if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. Felt like earlier in the month, I was doing well in terms I was ahead of things. This last week, oh my, I've got to do this. I've got to do that. I feel like I'm spinning because I felt like I was so ahead of everything. And then now it's those last few things just trying to do, but I'm making sure I'm finding time to relax. How are you doing that, Jackie?
Many of our schools go up to right till the end, right? Christmas this year is on a Monday, and many of our students go all the way up to the Friday before. And so it's definitely been pretty busy as of now. And I know we had Hanukkah recently, and there's other holidays coming up. It hasn't even really hit me about the holiday, and it's been warm. And so I am definitely one of my goals for the break, which I'm taking a small break next week, is just to get some time to slow down. I feel like this year has been really busy, rushing around and bustling. And the holidays, although, we want it to be about cheer and giving and family, I think for me this year, it's been really a little bit hectic, more hectic than I would have liked and a little bit more stressful. And so I'm hoping that, next week, just taking some time to unwind. And I know this year there has been a lot of extra stressors for many. And so for our listeners who are experiencing that as well, I don't know if anyone can relate. I hope that you too are able to take some downtime and just some time for self-care.
Absolutely. And it's that combination of structure is still needed for everyone, finding the time to get some nutrition, although we're having little extra treats here and there, looking at sleep, how can you manage that? And even physical activities, being outside where it's so warm, it seems like here in the Midwest, but also how can you put that in and then have time, as you said, Jackie, to have the fun. But that is also important. So I think navigating that as a parent can be difficult at times, especially during unstructured time as it is right now without school in place. And some people are off work.
Yes, for sure. And I think for many of the children we work with, they do have a hard time moving into that unstructured time. And so many parents have written in or called in and talked to us about, what are some ways to help that? We feel like every time it's time to head back to school or head back to work after break, we're struggling. Some of our kids, aren't wanting to go back, or some of our kids we're noticing are having heightened behaviors during that time. We've really talked in the past weeks about it doesn't have to be a full-blown schedule over break because we all need to be flexible, but even just some aspects or elements of consistency, writing out kind of the schedule, having visuals for what break is going to look like, giving kids a heads up of different family members that they're going to see, expectations around, behavior, but also how to handle when family members are coming to hug and kiss. Many of our children might not be comfortable with that. What boundaries are children allowed to set? Are children allowed to kind of let family members know when they need a break or they're getting overstimulated? Sometimes for me, all the get-togethers can be a lot and I need to take a step back. I think our children, likewise, it'll be helpful to give them some control and onus that they have some choices as well.
I agree. I think that's the one thing, especially with adolescents, I see that they really buy into it. If you come to them and say, no, this is kind of what's going on. What do you think is appropriate? I was working with one family and the young man, they were reflecting after the end of the semester. I think classes ended on Wednesday, and on Thursday, the family was talking. And he did a really great job of saying, I think one of the reasons that I didn't complete my homework at times or just gave up, and that was the big thing. And he said, I just gave up and it was easier just to play my game than to do my homework because I felt like there's no way I was going to make it. And so the family really talked about it. And during this holiday break, they're really going to look, and he is going to do the same. And they're giving him the opportunity to set that structure up. What's the appropriate time and how much time? Now, not every child, I think, is to that place, but I think it is an interesting way of approaching that whole situation about the games. Having them to look at it and say, well, given everything that's going on, plus family time or other, this would be appropriate time. And if you can get them to buy in, that doesn't always happen. I know that, but I think if you can get them to buy in, and as you said, Jackie, be a part of creating that, it does make it a little bit easier. And it's just not the kids going back to school. A lot of times as adults getting back into it, I hear, some parents say it's great to be back into the structure, but it's a lot sometimes for parents to get back in. And they like that downtime that they've experienced over the holiday break.
Definitely. And I think just keeping things simple. I know sometimes we have this tendency, to make things complicated, and we feel as parents, we have to do all these things for our kids and, or they're missing out. But just the simple things of spending some time going on a walk, playing a board game, playing a game outside. It really doesn't have to be a huge ordeal. Just spending some time tech-free with our children, just being connected, talking to them, sharing different ideas. I know I've heard several ideas of fun holiday games. One family was telling me yesterday that, and I actually want to try this, but they take like a ball, they wrap little notes and sometimes even gift cards in different, sometimes it might be dollar bills in the ball, and they keep putting saran wrap over the ball over and over.
We've done that.
Pretty soon the ball is huge, and I guess you have to wear oven mitts to unravel the ball, and it can take like a couple hours, I guess. And family members were telling me that they just had so much fun with this silly game, and it doesn't have to cost a lot because really you don't have to put a lot of gift cards or money. It can be, just funny gag things in there too.
Yes.
But I love hearing all the different ideas that family members have over the holidays.
Yes. And what we would do is the ball would be in one room and people would go in, and even the kids got to do it, and they would take small things in and they would help wrap it. So you only knew a portion of what's in that ball. And then that's really a lot of fun when they get to see that come out and their part, what they had put in. That is a fun game, Jackie. And it's a game that everyone gets to be a part of. And if they get to be a part of creating it, I think that also gives children a part of creating the special magic. And sometimes I think that's good for them to be in that place as well. Yeah, it's such a great time of year. But we've also got some families, and in my family, there's been someone that's passed in this last week. Families really sad and grieving, and other families are out there dealing with the same thing and also financial struggles. There's all different things that's happening for families, and I think sometimes in our own little bubble, we may not recognize that. And so just having that awareness as well.
Yeah, definitely. And just being mindful of, we all experience joy and sadness and stress and all different things during different times of the year, and allowing ourselves to feel all the feelings, but know that if you are having a difficult time, this too will pass, and just really checking in with your support systems and trying to engage in those activities that maybe are a little bit more healthy for you. I know for whatever reason, this time of year, I tend to overload on a bunch of sweets and other, and it's like I kind of fall apart this time of year with those things. And so I try to pull back as post-Christmas and reflect, because I am one that does better with structure and routine and just getting some exercise every day and eating healthy. And so I think trying to pull in a couple elements of that, I think really does have such a positive impact for me and my mental health.
Yeah.
And
you
as
do
parents,
good. I'm going to jump in there, Jackie. I think you do a great job of keeping the physical exercise going. You may be eating outside of healthier food, but I think you do a good job of keeping that physical exercise going, right?
I think for us, as parents, but also the field we're in, we take care of so many and we work with so many different folks. And I think for me, if I don't really focus on my self-care, I struggle just in my role. And so I've prioritized that. And I know keeping physically healthy helps, like I said, the emotional health. And so while it's never perfect and we all struggle with it, but I think finding those things for you that you need to tap into for all of us that help us be able to show up as we do as parents every day and show up in the space we're in and be the best we can is all we can ask for. And we've had a lot of listeners call in and talk about challenges they've had this year. And we really hope that the holidays can bring you joy on some aspects. And we hope that you're able to celebrate time with loved ones. And we really want to be here for you in 2024. And we're excited to share in the coming episodes all that we're going to be launching in 2024.
Yes. Well, Jackie, I think it is time to say goodbye and happy holidays to everyone.
Happy holidays.
Bye, Jackie.
Bye, Robin.
Thank you for joining us, and make sure to subscribe and like us to catch our next episode, where we will take you on a journey to find new ways of successful parenting.